Hello, you gorgeous, wonderful people, you. Tell you what, it's so nice to sort of come back refreshed, Siblings. Today's topic is about siblings. Many people get on with their siblings and have a very wonderful relationship, very supportive. Sometimes I often look into other people's relationships with their siblings and I think to myself, oh my gosh, I absolutely wish I had a sister or brother like them, vice versa. The hanging out, the best friend when it comes to your family, etc., or relationships. But when those relationships are broken down within your families, when you're looking for positive feedback from those that are around you and they don't help you up, they don't understand you, and you might not even get on with your brothers or sisters or your relations. I'm going to go relations, okay? I think that plays a big heavy part on somebody's mental health and well-being, on their thought process of whether or not they're accepted or rejected. Hello, USA. Hello. So I think family is important, but then again, you see, family can also screw you over. Now, I'm going to do my life the way I choose to do my life and not hide because somebody may not like what I say. But if the shoe fits, I really personally don't care. When somebody has been out of your life for a long time, they've not helped you with the bills, they've not helped you with your health, they've not helped you up if you were homeless, they've not done anything to help you and support you, but they actually watched you on your deathbed. That's family for you. Some of the family can do that to you. I'm talking about personally, this will be relatable to a lot of people. A lot of family will just watch you suffer in silence because they won't know what to do. They just think you're you all the while. And you're still that child, So you could be 40, 50, and when you're around your sibling, you still feel like that young child inside. So you still address these siblings in a certain mannerism. And sometimes a lot of people cut off their family and then they say they have no one. I think family can do so much damage. I think family, at the end of the day, when it comes to choosing about your health and family, sometimes your health has to come first because they say blood is thicker than water, but the blood at the end of the day can actually screw you over. Now, I'm actually going to do my life because now I'm going to do what you call, when you interfere with me. I have not seen my sibling for 10 years. That's one of my siblings, okay? Won't name, won't put it out, okay? There's plenty of siblings out there that I don't even know if they're related, but still. 10 years that I have not heard or seen from my sibling. And in those 10 years, my life altered dramatically. I ended up being homeless. I ended up on my deathbed. And my siblings weren't there to help me up. Very simple. They won't. Now, I guess when they're miles away, there's not a lot of things that people can do. Is when your siblings are all over the place, there's not a lot of things that they can do to help you, is there? But maybe the odd telephone call and a bit of encouragement. So after a 10-year expiry, I'm going to put it that way, then you actually don't really know people, do you? When there's that much of a gap going past. People are not the same. They change with the circumstances and they change with the weather. Now, what happened to me is that I did a live broadcast yesterday, and my live broadcast title was called Jealousy and Rejection, but most of the title was called Jealousy. Now, my lives are pretty more educational as much as I can without naming and shaming. But when I did my live, from out of the blue, I was contacted by a sibling. I'm not going to say which one, who, whatever. And what they done is they laughed at my post. They laughed. They put a laughing sign. And I was so annoyed at that. I'm thinking, where have you come? You popped out of the blue from nowhere. You haven't worried if I was on my deathbed. You haven't given a toss. You haven't helped. You haven't contributed. And you certainly don't even know who I am anymore. But what I do is go out there and do as much as I can and save life and make a difference to people in the best way I possibly can. Okay, that's what I do. I don't sit on my butt doing nothing or sit there feeling sorry for myself. I get up and do something to make sure that I am not the same person I used to be. So, when your siblings come from out of nowhere and they're still persecuting you to think that you're still that inner child. Well, I'm not that inner child. I'm a grown woman. And when you come on my page or wherever you are in the world, and you laugh at me, let me just say this. I'm not here to be laughed at, because laughing at somebody when they're doing serious live topics is ridiculing somebody and messing with their self-esteem. Except for, I'm not actually going to say that this messed with my self-esteem. It made me stronger. It made me say, you know what? Who are these strangers? Does it? Your loyalties to your families, this is the thing. We have so much loyalty to our family. And we said, yeah, family means everything. Your family could be built around your friends that you've built a network around. Your families are those that help you up. Your families are those that listen, talk to you, respect you, and help you up. That's what I consider family, not the blood-related ones. Family is those that are there for you in your times of distress, in your times of need. Please do not feel guilty. Don't feel guilty if your loved ones are no longer in your circle anymore and they've gone off doing their own thing. They have no rights over you like they used to when you were younger, where they used to tell you what to do and used to answer to them, etc. Okay? When you become a mature adult and you become a mother or a father, whatever it is, and you've got your own children and then your underground children, stop and think that these are still people with titles. So when I'm talking about mothers, fathers, grandparents, sisters, brothers, etc., that's titles. You just strip the titles away. They're a human being the same as you and I. A human being with behaviour problems the same as you and I. So therefore the love language has to be right and the right communication in order to get the respect. Now if your family don't respect you, think about it. What value are they helping you with? And not to feel guilty about it because you have decided to do your own path and shut off negativity that keeps you feeling like a child. I'm not a child. And I replied back to that laughing head. If you're not productive, don't contact again. Because I am not where I used to be. I'm a total stranger to siblings. That's what I am. A total stranger. And I look at the value and I look at, boy, when I was thinking, where were they? I didn't even get a telephone call. Hi, are you all right? I didn't even get a visit. And I was on my death bed. So you just remember that when it comes to family. Are they there? Or is it your friends that are turning to be your family? Titles will hold you back. It really does hold you back, but you really do have to understand that behind those titles, even your own, you're a human being and you're going through things that maybe somebody won't know. Not to be ashamed and worry about what they think, which is a big thing, isn't it? Worrying about what your family think of you. And it actually stops you from doing a lot of things. Stops you from making decisions that you probably would make because you're worried about them. But when you're an adult, you've got to understand that you're responsible for yourself, for your actions. And I personally do not have any family that has helped me up apart from my own children. Okay? And I have been persecuted and said horrible things that I would be nothing. I'm not that person anymore. And if people cannot see what I have done to better my life and they still think that I am that same person, I don't need that negativity around me. So when you've got kids, when you've got family out there and they are writing on your Facebook and it's not productive and it's horrible and they're talking behind your back, do you know what you should do? Cut them off. Because karma is a bitch, really. And I often kept thinking to myself, of the age difference and how old they are now and how much time has gone past, and maybe they've contacted me because they're dying or something like that. Well, I don't know. There's nothing I can do about it, because when I was dying, and that's why I talk about karma, nobody was there for me apart from my friends, which has now become my family. So I don't have my mum here anymore. She died. And I don't have my dad here anymore. He died. So my role models, although they weren't exactly good role models, but towards the end they were better. Towards the end they were much, much better. And I appreciated them towards the end. But I think if my mum and dad were alive, would I be doing half the lives that I'm doing? Would I be doing and saying things that may be embarrassing to people? Would I be doing it? You know, and I think to myself, I think my mum would encourage me, because she too was a self-harmer that never told me about mental health. And I think, how many parents actually speak to their children about mental health? How many of you actually relate to your own siblings and actually say, you know what, you know, you can call it mental health, but I'm struggling right now with this, or acceptance, or whatever it is, okay? How many people do we actually talk to that are actually related to us about our health? It's just very difficult, isn't it? Because they shut it off and it's dismissive, which actually does more damage. And I'd just like to say that to my long-lost sister out there, if you are watching this, because I know you often like to watch my lives, please don't ever disrespect me again. Now, I actually never really name and shame, and there's probably lots of sisters out there that are supposed to be not quite clued up. But again, you know, for me, I don't expect people to tear other people down, and I will never be torn down from the other side of the sea. Don't ever disrespect me again. So this is why I wanted to go with this, because I was sitting there thinking, oh, what are my family going to say about me if I'm going to go and do a live in retaliation to what happened to me last night? And I'm thinking to myself, I don't care. I don't care. If you don't trouble me, I don't trouble you. But if you trouble me and you laugh and mock at me, then please be mindful. I'm not here to be laughed at. I'm doing very serious work out there in the community. Okay? And that's more work than a lot of people that I know are doing. I'm helping. I'm being productive with my life. I am not a little girl any longer. I am not doing the things, and I'm definitely not a slut. Okay? So all of the things that your family may call you and say about you make you feel like you're nothing, rise up, my brothers and sisters. My brothers and sisters are those that are supporters of me. Rise up. Rise up. Blood is not thicker than water in that way. Okay? That is just an old saying. Your family can do more damage to you than an ex. And I mean that. Because it's ridicule. You seek validation from your family. And when your family are not helping you, then it leaves you isolated and alone. So you go make another family somewhere else, right? So for me, I've got all the family I need. That's the Mom Project. I don't say nothing else, but I was actually really angry about that. Really, really angry about that. I felt I was being mocked and laughed at. And I think if you're going to mock and laugh at me, you have no concept of mental health. None. I do not need laughing at. And I don't need mocking. Not on my pages. So for me, from the other side of the Great Britain to wherever you are in the world, I'm glad you liked my lives. I'm glad you see that I'm not doing anything productive in your imagination. That is your imagination, not mine. Yours. When you don't know someone after all those years that have gone by, you don't know them anymore. You don't know what they've gone through. You don't know how they had to climb up. Don't you dare ever think you can pick up where you left off. It doesn't work that way. So be mindful when you are interacting with your own families and not persecuting your loved ones and putting them down and laughing at them when they're doing something productive. You know, don't do that. Don't do that, okay? Your family are the ones that are supposed to help you up and help you build, not tear you down. And if any of your families are tearing you down, think twice. Think twice about staying in the same circle that is tearing you and ripping you down. I think we looked over our shoulder all our life of being told what to do as kids, worried about what your mum and dad is going to think, if, you know, over in time, and you always answer to them, and now they're no longer here anymore. I think for me, would they be ashamed of me? No, I don't think they would be ashamed of me. But I do think that my siblings are ashamed of me. I think at the end of the day that they can be, just because I talk about my journey, it doesn't mean I'm talking about their journey. I'm talking about my own personal journey. And my own personal journey was painful and personal to me. And I'm the one that had to climb up from child abuse, okay? I'm the one that had to climb up from that. So when you haven't lived it, don't make judgment on people, please. That's all I'm saying. And for me, you know, even if it's past tense, it's past tense. Appreciate someone's progression. If you haven't got nothing productive to say, don't say nothing at all. Block, delete, stay the hell away. Because I'm going to stay on my path. I've had enough ridiculing from people and things that I'm having to comprehend of the way people think and try to change your attitude towards things. You know, even if we talk about the colour issue, which I'm not going to get into, basically, it's almost like a divide somewhere along the line. Well, it ain't no different when it comes to your family, is it? They're supportive of people or you're not supportive of people. You know, discrimination can come from anyone, even your own family. So be very mindful of that when your expectations of family is Little House on the Prairie. If you've never watched that at a young age, sorry, you'd probably be so young for that. When your family, you think family is what you see on TV. It's not always like that. You actually can be total strangers. How much do you actually know your family? And I think I'm going to lose my battery. How much do you actually know your family? Because you only spend minimum time with them. So the minute you get up, you go out, you know, and then you're going out into another world and your family is out there in another world. You come home, hi, good night. You're not really spending that much time with your family, getting to know them, are you, inside and out? But some people do. They have a beautiful relationship with their siblings, and I have nothing but admiration for family that takes care of family, okay? So the Mom Project is my family and my kids and my grandchildren. That's all what matters to me. Respect. Make sure you get your own respect. You deserve it. And if they don't want to give you respect, make sure you respect yourself and don't take crap.